Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the very first episode of the Rule Zero conversation. Sometimes life requires a little talk before things are happening to see if life really is the seven it is supposed to be. This was something long overdue, and I am really happy to make this podcast with just family. So I'm not doing this alone, I'm doing this with my brother from another mother, and that is.
What's up, everybody? I'm JM, and also I'd like to say you are truly one of my best friends, man, in Magic and out of Magic. And we've been talking about this forever, so I'm just glad that we can get this to happen. But yeah, sometimes life needs a rules conversation that I feel like people aren't necessarily doing. So I feel like this is where this is going to come and step in.
I totally agree. I totally agree. And it's not a one time thing because the premise is following. We both went out scouring for keywords and cool Magic the Gathering guests. And what we're going to do the next couple of months, maybe years, who knows, is we're going to take one of Magic's keywords and we are going to use that as maybe as an example of what things could do in real life. So we have some exciting things coming up, and JM can tell you all about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So our very first episode is going to be Partner With, where we talk to our partners about how they interact with us being Magic partners and content creators. So some of the other episodes are going to be Persist, where we can talk about events and what problems and possibilities it has. We're going to talk about maybe Haunt, about the mental struggles and stuff we face as human beings in the MTG space. We got some special guests. Maybe Chris, maybe from One More Game, Cody or the Jun Fund. We're planning on doing one for banding. That would be like friends in our play spaces. I was also thinking about Shroud, Myriad, just all kinds of things and how they interact with our people. Myriad could be Magic with children and how they interact with us, because we kind of multiply.
You did multiply.
I did, and dude, he is so cute. I'm not gonna lie, I'm so happy with him.
That is amazing, man. And like I said, you're gonna be a great dad. Honestly,
I'm just trying to raise him not to be a blue mage.
I would not have said the same. So yeah, today is Partner With, one of the most powerfulest mechanics in Magic the Gathering, especially in CEDH, and a very important part of my life, because I would not have done what I'm doing right now if I would not have the support of my partner. She also plays Magic, and I will give her the introduction she deserves if everybody's ready. JM, are you ready to do this?
Yeah, absolutely. I will give you your space, and then I will introduce my partner with to try to give her the due diligence that you give to yours.
So I am a blue mage. That means one of my favorite combinations is the mirror. So you would probably go for a mage who uses swamps. I went a completely different way. I found the partner with that completes me in a lot of ways by being the Naya queen that she is. She likes cats, she likes cutes, she likes everything that has a tendency to eat a lot of snacks. So cats, dogs, everything. She loves Eldraine, hopefully loves Eldraine as much as she loves me, and she's going to go bankrupt when Bloomburrow comes in. Ladies and gentlemen, we call her Steph. Online, we call her Skull Bunny. It is my partner, Stephanie.
Hi,
Hello.
everyone. Hey, babe. Thank you for that amazing introduction.
Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm a bit nervous, honestly, because this is my first ever podcast, and I'm also having to do it in English, so extra pressure. But other than that,
You're
I'm
doing absolutely fine so
great.
far.
Thank you.
You are. JM, it is time for your partner with.
Oh god, okay, I'm so nervous now. That was such a high pedestal. Okay. So Kara would obviously say I am very much so a gruel mage. I am impulsive to the core. If I like it, I want it probably like right now or yesterday. So Kara is arguably having to be more of the like I would say Bant almost, because she's a very much so hippie at heart, but like logical and intelligent and thorough and just like very much so caring. So like nature, nurture, intelligence, kinda. So yeah,
That's
I would
good.
think she would be very much so Bant. My beautiful wife, Kara, who literally just gave birth. But yeah,
Hi.
this is Kara in my personal life, but online we call her Scarface 2246 because she's gangster thug.
Hi, guys. I'm Kara. I'm also nervous, Steph, if that makes you feel any better.
I can imagine. I know what you're going through.
And I'm sitting here with the baby. I'm like, oh, please don't cry.
Yeah.
Aw. Oh, well, we have that with funny though. We have that with the cats. Our Teddy is very vocal, like very very vocal. But yeah, that's a good starting point. Like once again, congratulations with the baby. You guys, you had a kid. That's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's
it's been
insane.
very
It's hard to
crazy.
wrap our head around.
Yeah, it's crazy to think like 1 month ago that he was like inside of Kara and like she wasn't cut. But now she's like had surgery and now she's bouncing back and she's doing crazy things. Like it's crazy like how fast she came back and was like, dude, did everything, was getting up, like it was nuts. It was very crazy.
Really cool. How has having a baby affected both of you as a couple?
So obviously I feel like kind of the same in my personal opinion as when we were pregnant. Cause like we had to be like gentle or we couldn't like not sound weird, but like we couldn't like cuddle in a weird like a comfortable way because of the baby.
Mhm.
So like now it's more of we can actually cuddle, but like it's kind of weird getting used to each other, and obviously Bernie wants to be like right in the middle of each other.
Yeah.
So it's just like getting used to each other. Oh, I'm sorry, Kara.
No, you're fine. I kind of feel like it's brought us closer in a way, because obviously we have this shared responsibility, which I mean, we had shared responsibilities before, like Bernie and everything, but this is a human that 100% depends on the both of us now.
Yeah, and another thing is like I think I have a whole new like profound respect for Kara. Just seeing her go through that, like, because we went through labor for 24 hours, or she went through labor for 24 hours,
Oh,
and then
wow.
he got stuck, and then she had an emergency C-section.
Oh,
So
no.
like in my mind, Kara's like a crazy superhero.
It was a roller coaster, but he's definitely worth it.
Oh yeah.
Aw.
It was also just crazy to see like how strong and powerful Kara was in that time. Just to be like, okay.
Yeah, because there is some sort of primal power you tap in, not to sound completely like spiritual and stuff, but there's some sort of primal power that comes with birth that you have to connect
Oh
yourself to,
yeah.
right? Like,
You don't know if you can actually do it, and then like you obviously are doing it.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
have to do it.
Yeah, you have no choice. Once you're in it, you're in it, and I mean, you've got to do it. It's definitely. I mean, we're all animals. We're animals. We have our instincts still, so it's definitely a primal instinct that you tap into.
and the other question for you guys is because JM, you do a lot of streaming, like you stream 3 times a week. You do a lot of other magic things. You also have a job. There's Bernie. How do you guys keep the time to do what you do magic wise?
So I think really in my personal opinion, one of the things that like helps me out the most, to be fair, is Kara has been very cool. And to be honest, I think Parker has been very cool. He's allowed us to do kind of similar things that we were doing before. But yeah, Kara really ultimately enables all of this to happen. Well, right now she's not working, so it's a little easier. But she has a lot to deal with. She's like full-time job with the baby, and now Bernie.
Yeah.
So ultimately, she allows me to do this and give me a second to hang out with my friends and get a reprieve. So at the end of the day, like I just have to ultimately have to thank her for the times that like I don't have Parker or Bernie to deal with, that I can have the opportunity to do something like this. Uh, and even now, like Kara's multitasking, doing this and taking the baby. So
Kara,
like it
how is
just
it?
goes to show.
Yes. It's a. I mean, you're playing cards with us, and she's keeping the world afloat.
Yeah, literally. Like our whole house is like dependent on her. She's literally like the food source. She's the baby like mom. Like she's kind of it right now.
How is that for you, Kara? Because you are clearly the superhero here. Um, how is that for you that JM goes off 3 times a week to do content creation as a thing to
Well,
pursue?
Uh, I'm personally, I feel like as long as he's enjoying it and he loves doing what he does, I can handle the baby. Again, Parker has been a fantastic little one. We got very lucky with him and Bernie, such a sweet dog. And that he's in the same place as I am, like being here at home and being able to do his stream definitely helps out. Because if I absolutely needed him, he's right around the corner, and I know he'd stop and help. But again, thankfully he's in the same place, and Parker's fantastic, and but handling it like right now, like you said, I'm not at work, so not having that stress of being at work all day and then coming home. Who knows? Things may change when I go back to work, but we're gonna play it by ear when that does happen. I've still got until the beginning of May at this point.
Okay. So content creation is it's not a certainty thing. Like we all have jobs next to it. How, because you do a lot, JM. You sink in a lot of time. Is it with a predetermined goal that you guys discuss? Like, I want to do this with that, or is it just to have fun? Or because there's a lot of content creators that are doing it just to gain the gains of gaining, to eventually stop working and just be the magic personality they want to be, especially in our scene, I think. How is it for you?
So personally, I always started out by just trying to play with people that I always saw on TV or like YouTube personally.
Mm-hmm.
Like money or anything wasn't really ever the goal. To sound selfish, free things really were. Like I wanted like to get cool like tokens or things like that. You know what I mean? Stickers, really mostly. Just like I know that the Magic community is get big on giving things away like at events and everything, and I always just wanted to meet people as a content creator to get those things. That was ultimately it, but like it's gone a lot bigger than that. We have now T-shirts and all kinds of stuff. I just never really envisioned it being this big. But it's been a lot of fun. It's also crazy to like see our logo evolve or our like setup evolve, and to see like our friends who get into content creation. Like John started on our stream and then started being a content creator, and now has a preview card, and it has been like a content creator. It's very crazy to see our friends come up and do things around us. So it makes me feel like we're going in the right direction.
Yeah, not to exclude Steph, because for us it's completely. I am one of those guys that started on your stream. I was one of my very first games was with you in a very weird month, and I have the luck that I have a partner who totally understands that I have to be awake in the middle of the night to join you. So let me ask the same question to Steph. And it's an open discussion. I don't want to be the guy who just is the presenter. So if anybody wants to ask anything to anyone, go ahead. Our recording bot Craig does not really answer questions, but we're more than free to do that as well.
Yeah, shout out to Craig.
Shout out to Craig. Found him 20 minutes ago. Saved my life. What a
Real
guy!
MVP.
What a guy! Does all the heavy lifting. Yeah, because the added sacrifice we have to make as a couple, in my opinion, is that I have to stay up late a lot of times to do streams. Like I do. Sometimes I do 3 times a week, 4 times a week. That means I'm pretty damn tired when I.
Well, we've
When
also joked about you basically living on East Coast time.
yeah. That's basically what I do.
Like we've 100% made that conversation. Like you kind of live your life on East Coast time.
Yeah, I'm on the easiest coast. Uh, um, so, Steph, how is that for you? Because you got into a relationship with me a year ago, right when I started doing this. How is this for you?
Well, yeah, you started doing these games about a year ago, but we've like reconnected like way before that, and I haven't known any different than you being a content creator. I mean, granted, you didn't stay up until 2 a.m. to stream or anything, but yeah, I'm kind of used to you doing this. And right now, it doesn't affect me as much that you stay up that late to play games because we don't live together yet. It does mean that sometimes when we are together, you're a bit tired, but it doesn't really affect me that much. To be honest, I'm just excited for you that you can do this. And maybe in the future, when we are actively going to start looking for a place together, we can always, consider the fact that there's just this huge time difference, and that we can get you a room far away from the bedroom so I can sleep in peace while you play your games.
And I can finally start shouting during my games.
Yeah. We'll build in sound panels and stuff like that, make it soundproof.
That's a good
I would love
idea.
to do that. Because how is that for you, Kara? Because do you hear JM stream?
So thankfully his man cave is on the opposite side of the house as our bedroom. So think we have that to help, but I'm also a very heavy sleeper.
Yeah,
So
we don't
sometimes
have
I don't
sound panels.
I don't
The
hear him
sound panels are
whatsoever.
good. But yeah,
the
every now and then I do
sound
get
panels would be a
excited.
great idea. Oh yeah, sometimes he does get excited and he yells, and then thankfully he only wakes me up.
Oh, poor Parker.
He's a good sleeper.
That is great. That is because Jane was talking about losing some sleep, but not much. And I know I have friends who had kids who completely turned into like zombified ghouls after
yeah,
becoming parents.
Oh yeah, well I'm actually getting more sleep now than I did at the end of my pregnancy, so I'm thankful and very happy about that.
That is amazing. You probably get even more sleep than I do because
Probably with you staying up all hours of the night, I couldn't even
Yeah.
imagine.
Thankfully, JM always uses normal time slots, but when I am, by now everybody knows Tony. When I do Tony, it's like 4 a.m. in the morning here, and then we
That's
end at
insane.
6. And then Tony says, "Hey, you want to play another game?" I'm like,
Can't say no.
"Oh no, you can't say no because
No, you can. You can. I say no.
yeah, that's true. Honestly, that is the only stream that I've seen that happen. Like Octavia actively said, "Nah, unfortunately, I don't have the time."
Oh yeah, she has
No.
a strict D&D. Like she don't fuck around.
Oh no, not in no sense of the way.
Oh yeah, her D&D don't like when they come together. They come together. Like they've made several level 20 characters. They've been playing for like years and years and years. Like it's the same pod.
That is amazing. Talking about content, recently it happened that you, babe, I call you babe, Steph.
Sorry, I thought you were talking about me.
I call you babe too. That's true. I call you babe too. Steph, you are in my content. Like you're on camera. You're in my vlog. You perpetually hate when I take a picture of you and put it on Twitter without me consulting you. How is that?
Showing me
for you?
first.
Yeah, how is that for you that I just point a camera on your face and go like, "Hey, I am trying to share my life with the world. You're a part of it. Take it."
I had to get used to it a little bit in the beginning, especially with the vlogging, that when you left for Chicago, and I had just woken up and I was just getting ready to drop you off, and I turn around and there's a camera in my face, and I'm like, oh great, like the entire world's gonna see how I look when I've just been awake for a few minutes. So I had to get used to that a little bit. But when we are just filming during the day and I am wearing clothes and I have done my hair and I look presentable, I don't mind. I don't mind as much. But yeah, it's with the pictures. Yeah, when we are playing Commander, like close to midnight, and I'm already in my pajamas and stuff like that, and I'm talking to you, and I don't notice you taking a picture of me. I'm in mid sentence, and then you decide to put that picture on Twitter. I'm like, okay, well, I would have liked it if you'd show me that before you just put it online. But that's just me being vain. Other than that,
I know exactly when to strike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly how you feel. I think the 3 years that John Michael's been doing his show, I think I've only appeared on camera one time, and that was recently with the baby.
Yeah, it's been like all
Yeah.
3 times with the baby.
Is that
I
a
don't.
conscious choice? As in,
Yeah, I really don't. I don't like being on camera. It's not something that I really love.
I
really?
can imagine. It's like, one day you came with the train to visit
Yeah.
me, and I didn't know you were vlogging, so I was just waiting for you. And apparently, he was doing this entire story to his GoPro, and then it was like, oh, and there she is, and I was like, and I was just kind of like looking for words,
Mm.
and sometimes he would ask me a question out of the blue, and I'm just like, yes, because I would just I would just black out at the moment and
Oh,
don't know what to say.
how much food do you want? Yes.
Yes.
Um, do you play Magic, Kara? That is the question
Yes.
everybody wants to know, of course.
So when John Michael first started playing, I did play a little bit with him. I have a hard time with my ADHD keeping my attention on something, so I do get bored very easily, unfortunately. So I played with him for a few months and then just kind of stopped. So I do know how to play, I just don't.
How is that for you, JM?
It's not bad. I'm not gonna lie. It's pretty cool that she allows me to do as much magic stuff for her not being engrossed in magic stuff. But to be fair, Kara used to be really into singing, so like I feel like she knows like about having a passion or like wanting to do something like that. Because she's also done stuff like that. Um,
That's really
How
cool.
that is really cool.
Mm.
but
How
So you both play Magic, correct?
we do? Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, he dragged me into it.
well, so I dragged her into it, and she just resisted.
Yeah, he
I
did
did not.
drag me into it, and I think financially it was a good decision that I don't play.
Oh, definitely. Oh man.
Oh man, yeah, because
'Cause
that's
we
another part, right? Because it costs so much money to play Magic the Gathering,
Mhm.
and especially to create content. Like, you have to have a good computer, you have to have a good mic, you have to have all these things to keep up. Is that something you guys discuss?
So to be fair, when I first started making magic content, I didn't have a computer. I used my phone and basically an iPad, and I did all my recordings like that. And then I built a PC out of a broken PC from work. And then I used my phone as the microphone, and I use a cardboard box as my setup. So like
No.
I basically like a whole thing has been like bare bones, just like whatever works. And then like as the setup got bigger and I added more to it, unfortunately Octavia was helping me fix something and I fried my whole setup.
Oh
Oh,
no.
Yeah,
no.
so at that point, Kara let me get a pre-built PC from Best Buy. So I got my first like credit card. So I was able to get a nice PC basically with my whole setup, and that's the PC I still have.
That's
Very nice.
incredible though that you were able to build it up like from starting with just your phone and your tablet. That's
Yeah,
insane.
though our whole thing
Yeah.
has been like just trying to make it work. And like it doesn't have to be the best. We never tried to be the best. We just tried to do it. Is more of like our goal.
And you're doing it.
Well, so I have a couple questions for you, Daniel. So
Yeah,
you've
hit
been
me.
asking us a lot of questions, but I want to ask you some of the same. Like
Everything.
how do you feel having to deal with like our schedule? Because obviously, like that is hard. So like I'll flip it to you personally.
It's not as rough as it looks because I made a sort of, well, my body made a decision for me a year ago. We talked about this shortly. I don't know if everybody knows, but in 5 days, exactly a year ago, I got a big burnout. I was working towards that for a while, ever since Philly, basically, like way before Philly it started in October 2022. I went to Philly. Everything felt good. That is where my literal plane walker spark to do is ignited. And I came home and I crashed. So I got sick on the 21st of March last year and got diagnosed with PTSD in August of last year. And I had to fight through all of that. And being able to play this game with people that I don't know that were far away but felt really close made it very possible to do. I got fired in December from a job I was doing for 10 years and decided to be my own contractor for at least a year, so I could keep on doing this. So it's a part of my life now, being on your schedule. And also, the Netherlands doesn't really have a very vibrant Magic the Gathering scene. There are some creators, but not much. And I also wanted to play with everybody I've seen on my TV because we don't have content here that is in our native language. So you turn to the TV and especially to YouTube and you see all these quote unquote what I call rock stars, and you're like, man, if I could play a game with those people. And so it started, and I'm literally loving every moment of it. Okay, I'm tired to the brim from time to time, but also I can make my own hours now. I'm still recuperating from being sick. So yeah, that's how I do it. And I have, like I said, a lovely partner that supports all of this and is like, yeah, go play your game. It's fine. I'll app you when I wake up, and you'll app me back when you wake up, and stuff like that. So it's that, and like I always say, I don't want to miss it because I'm gonna miss you guys, and that feeling is way worse than having a little less sleep.
I'm not gonna lie, I know exactly how that feeling is. That's like when you guys were all in Chicago. God, I just wanted to be there so bad.
Dude,
I literally cried to Kara. I was like, I just want to be with my friends.
Oh, dude, we missed you so much. And also, the saddest part of the Chicago story for me, besides you not being there, is that Steph was going to be there, but we have two babies which are not kids but are furry babies. We have two cats.
Fur babies.
Yeah. And I can say a lot about these two guys, but Steph can say the most about this. But we have two really, really cute fur balls named Ted and Fred. And Ted got predominantly sicker every month. And we were, I think you can say how this went the best, babe. So I'm just gonna give this to you.
Yeah, well, basically he's been sick for a while, and basically he has a lot of issues with his bladder. And so the vets didn't really know what was going on anymore, so they sent us to like this university hospital specialized in pets. But basically, long story short, he needed to get operated on his bladder, and the date fell right into the week that we were supposed to be in Chicago. So yeah, sadly I had to cancel that because he's just been sick for months, and it was just not something that I felt comfortable postponing, and I would not be able to be in Chicago and enjoy my time there knowing that my cat was incredibly sick. So yeah, sadly I had to stay here.
Yeah, and I super appreciate that. I'm sure obviously they do too. But yeah, I totally get how that is. Having to sacrifice a lot for a pet. Back when we first started, we lost Indy to cancer, and that was pretty crazy. So I understand changing it. And Daniel, how did that make you feel having to leave? I'm sure that was a crazy emotional trip too.
It was really weird because I was looking forward to having my. I think it's a three-parter thing as well. Like I was really looking forward to having my very first trip to my friends again. Seeing almost all of you after that year was something I was really looking forward to, which was also kind of a weird emotion because most of you I only met online, and I know that is how it goes these days, but I just met most of you online. Like I wasn't sure how everybody's going to react when we would be in the same room or in the same room again. I was excited to go on a trip with my girlfriend and my best friend. Like Kibu was going along. We did that to Vegas in 2022, which was really cool. And I was just saddened by the fact that I couldn't bring Steph to meet everybody who I was interacting with, because she knows I stay late, and she knows that all of these names, and I bombard her with all sorts of names without giving her any form of explanation, which I still need to learn, and I need to explain it first and then bombard her with names. So that was sad. I wanted to see. I also wanted her to see the fruit of my labor, because I've been really working hard on this content creation thing. For me, it's been a journey, and I just wanted to have her along, but I also felt that sad because I had to leave Teddy at home, and I couldn't be there for him or Steph when the surgery happened. So it was a really weird feeling, but we did everything we could to make sure that she's still involved. Like, we immediately went to get a SIM card on day one so that we have internet over there in the States. So we can just app whenever we want. And we made sure to keep contact. Kibu and I bought a Chromecast so we could still watch your stream because we didn't have a smart TV. So we did everything just to stay connected, basically. But yeah, that was still a sad moment. Also, financially, it was a weird thing because we bought a plane ticket, we bought an extra badge, and we had to figure that out really last minute, which was also stressful. We eventually found a great way, but yeah, that was a cascade of emotions, to name another keyword.
Yeah, that was a good keyword. But yeah, I totally understand. And that's a lot to go through. I can understand.
Yeah.
I do have another question. I'm sorry to change the tempo, but this is more for the the two partners. Do you guys ever feel like you have to schedule your relationship around our content or our creator?
Ooh, I have to think about that. Sometimes, but not always. I mean, like we have done like our Friday night magic that Daniel was going to vlog about. So that was not us thinking about him making content. That was just us thinking about, oh, let's go do a magic event at our LGS. Because that's fun and that's what we like to do. And he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna vlog it." So that was just us making plans, and he was just making content about it. So that's a great way to combine that. And yeah, sometimes we have to schedule around games that he has, but that's that's not really a big that's not really a big deal. So I don't think we have to do a lot of planning and scheduling around it, and a lot of things that are in person I would just tag along or also play games. Like I was supposed to join Chicago. I also went along to Barcelona when the Magicom was there, and we went to Vegas together. So we just also do a lot of things together, and I think that's just the most important thing for me is that it doesn't really matter what we do as long as we are together, and we both love playing Magic, so that's that's a plus.
Yeah, absolutely. And then what about you, Kara?
So I guess for me, not being a Magic player, obviously, I don't always feel like we have to schedule our relationship around it. There's some times where you may have to cancel a show because we have something to do, or there is sometimes like Friday nights you want to go out, you want to do something after work. This was pre-baby that maybe we'd want to go out and do something, but we
Like
wouldn't
a
be able
date
to
night,
do it.
yeah.
Yeah, we wouldn't be able to do it until after you were done. So sometimes it would be late, or that's a lot of times when friends will invite us out to do stuff is Friday night after work. So sometimes we were more limited, but it's never been. It's never felt like an inconvenience or ever felt like something that I was aggravated with that you weren't able to do because of this. Because, like I said, I want you to love this. I want you to enjoy it. It and always going to support you in it. But that's the only time we may have had to schedule around your content creation.
Yeah, and like now with the baby, like we took off Sunday so we could take cute pictures and him like leprechaun stuff.
Oh yeah, gotta make them look cute.
Oh, that's gonna look amazing on him.
Yeah, I'll send you some pictures.
Please do. Similar question for us though. Like, do we have the feeling we have to put some water to the wine when it goes to the plans we all cook up? Like, we want to do a million things, but we also have a partner. You also have Bernie, and you're
Yeah.
now a father. Like, how is that for you?
So I'm definitely running into that now. The biggest thing is like I tend to bite off way more than I can chew, and my ADHD brain thinks that I can do absolutely everything, or that I know how to do a little bit of a lot. Uh, but like I seem to have gotten lucky and to have failed upwards, if that makes sense. Like I kind of goofed my way into a win or a success or something that actually works. Uh, like I guess it's more just like I just try and then like whatever happens happens, and it just kind of happens to work out sometimes. But yeah, and then like a lot of times, like I try to be on a couple guest streams each week, so I try to check in, put them on my schedule, check in, make sure that we don't have anything for A baby or B, because like my thing is like I just gotta make sure all the boxes are checked for me, but also Kara, because like she's important, the baby's important. You know what I mean? Is everybody fed? Is everybody happy? Has everybody had their like talking time, I guess? But yeah, I think the biggest thing is Bernie's been very attention starved. So trying to get him some time that is actually just for him specifically has been a kind of a difficult thing. Like right now, he's asleep under my chair, just touching me.
Aw.
No, I'm looking for a way to do the channel point thing and give him a treat.
But yeah, I will just ask you the same exact question. How do you guys?
I think the biggest thing we ran into is that I take Steph to these events like Magic Cons. First of all, I had a meet and greet in Barcelona, which nobody really showed up for besides Steph and two other people.
But I'm always there.
To be fair, I would legitimately be the first in line for that.
So with that in mind, I had a meet and greet in Chicago, and my European reach is almost zero, and my American reach is a tad bigger. How I pulled that off, I still don't know. So
Because you live on Eastern Standard Time now.
That is, I am on the ESC now. In my head, those are two different things, and I thought it was really hard to explain that to Steph because she went to move with Barcelona, so she knows that we can just set up a game, and we had friends with us, and everything would be fine. We would always play a game. Like my experience for going to these events in Europe is different than America because I wanted to give my full attention to everybody who wanted something from me. If someone really wanted something from me, turned out I had to do more signatures in the 2 hours I had a meet and greet than I did as a musician in the last 6 years, which says more about me as a musician than as a Magic player.
To be fair, I listen to some of your songs on the regular. I'm a fan.
Yeah, don't undersell yourself.
No, so it was, we had a firm talk about what happens if I get dragged away by 3 people who really wanted to play a game with me. Turned out we had this sort of fail-safe system with Cody and Allison and Scott and Chris that we would just take a table and play games there, and everybody could do their own thing and come back to the table. Sadly, Steph couldn't be there to see that happen, but that was an eye-opener for me that we can just do all of our own things and come back. But yeah, we had a firm talk about that. And yeah, I'm the same as you. I throw myself into 10,000 different ponds and my mind thinks I can do that all at the same time. So I had to learn to pace myself and also make sure I don't sacrifice all my time to my craft, because I used to do that. But getting a burnout and PTSD and a good therapist helped a lot in making new priorities happen. So yeah, it's I don't feel obstructed by my partner. I just feel blessed that she supports me in the things that I do. And
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I can't say anything but good things about Kara and allowing me to do anything and helping me. Like she always says stuff, because like sometimes you'll get like a bad episode or you just don't feel like you did enough or you don't feel like you were on. Ooh, this is also a good question. And just like sometimes you just don't feel like you're on when you need to be on. How do you personally deal with that?
Ooh, that's a hard one. I think that I am, to give you a glimpse into my soul, my main baseline is being scared I'm going to fail every time I get on anything I do, because I will always be myself, but there is a big difference between Americans and Europeans. So I am a very watered down version of myself, I guess, which I think is fine because I don't even know if I can handle myself 100% right now. I do everything I do. I send to Steph to check, basically.
Oh
That's
yeah,
true.
100%. Kara is 100% my filter. In life, in everything gets tossed through like a Kara filter. Is this a good idea? Is this smart? Does this sound stupid?
Yeah, did I do good? What do you think? I think I messed up, and then Steph says, "No, you did fine."
Can you
Um,
proofread this for me? Because like I know I text horribly on the internet. I have tremendously large thumbs and no care to change it.
oh, imagine how we feel because this isn't even our first language.
Oh gosh.
Oh God, I could only imagine. No.
Yeah, I've been deciphering his text messages for like 11 years now.
Yeah, my texting is a whole other language to her.
You have your own language now.
Basically. Gosh, I couldn't imagine it being your second language though, and having to try to understand what the world he's saying.
Yeah, well, luckily English is like a big part of our lives, and also in a lot of lives. It plays a big part in Europe, luckily, and like we're brought up with it as well, with like video games and stuff. So yeah, that's that's really nice. But yeah, sometimes it can be a bit challenging still when
Yeah,
you're trying to figure out what you want to say. Yeah.
we should take old episodes, Daniel, and then just redub them in other languages.
I can ask Max if he can do German ones.
Dude, you could literally just have you and your friends like do a goofy voice for me in other language. You know what I mean? Like, I would totally consent. I have all of our videos and all of them just dub and just put them on your YouTube channel in other languages. Hell yeah!
Oh,
Just
that
so
would be
other people
good.
can get to view content.
Oh, that would be good. We can give it a Dutch name. Just rebrand the name. Keep the logo of you and Octavia, but just put our Dutch version on
Yeah,
top.
yeah, but like really bad, like scribbled out.
Yeah, that would be really good. I'm trying to figure out if I have like the thing that helps language wise is I despise my own mother language. Like I think Dutch is really ugly. I rather talk English all day. I
To
also
be
do that.
fair, I feel like both of you guys talk very well, like in English, but like also in your native language. Like I've listened to several podcasts, but I think it's also crazy, like when you're in your native language, when you'll switch to a very English word and transition so seamlessly.
Thanks. Well, it's also like I mean, wow. And then I just stopped speaking entirely. I just
And
jammed.
that was it. Ladies and gentlemen,
Just got a compliment about my English, and then I just stopped talking. Something that I personally experience is that like the way I speak is kind of starting to merge like Dutch and English. Like there are a lot of words that in English that I think are more fitting, or I'm not sure what the appropriate Dutch word is for it, or there is no Dutch word for it, so I'll just use the English word. And if I try to force myself to use the Dutch word, I just jam. So that's what I experience when I'm just talking Dutch. I'm mixing a lot of English words as well. And what I noticed between me and Daniel also when we are together, some of our conversations will be entirely in English and we won't even notice. And sometimes I have to just act. I will realize and I will switch back to Dutch because I'm like, we are not even speaking Dutch right now, so let's just switch back. But yeah, we speak a lot of English together also, yeah, in our daily lives.
you're letting out a really big cat out of the bag here. Yeah, one of the secrets I withhold is that we talk English a lot. We app English just a
Yes,
lot.
we message also in English, yeah.
Which I don't know how it happened, but it just happened. And for
Yeah.
me, it's great because I keep up with the language, which I have to use all the time. And it somehow just happens. And I have the feeling that in some cases I can express myself better in English than I can in Dutch.
Yeah, same.
Also, Dutch is just a really ugly language. There, I said it.
When we are messaging each other, like it's mostly in English, and but when we start to have like a serious conversation, most of the time I will switch back to Dutch. That's what I noticed. That when we have like serious conversations, I switch back to Dutch because I want to make sure that we both.
Nothing's misconstrued.
Yes, exactly. There are no miscommunications.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, okay, interesting question. When you think like your brain voice, is it in your native language most of the time or is it in English? because like obviously like I don't know any other languages. It's only English,
damn.
so it's just literally me talking to myself in English in my brain.
I'm not sure, to be honest. I really have to. I'm not sure.
And like when you think about words, do you see them in English or do you see them in Dutch?
Such a good
both, I
question.
guess.
Holy hell.
Because it's
I
easy
think
for me, obviously. I only have one language to base it off of.
it's a 50-50 thing. Like when I was in Chicago, I was in English mode 100% of the time. Even it happened that me and Kibu were talking in English, even though there was not an American around us.
Oh, so it just
Mm.
felt native, felt natural.
Yeah, and my brain was basically in English mode as well, which was funny enough because Kibu's English it's okay, but he stumbles a lot and he.
Hey man, that's like most people in the South right there.
Oh man, the best part. This is a good small step. We have to have him on though. A good small thing is that he pointed towards a building and just said building. Funnest thing that happened.
So did you get Kibo into Magic?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
I got.
so we could have him on a mentor where we bring people that we mentored and brought people into Magic.
Oh, that would be good. Yeah, I got that's for an all different episode, but I got my best friend and roommate Max into it, which is a really good commander player. It's weird to see that he has been playing this game for 4 years and he could swing with the big guys. Like he's really good at this. We do this entire season of commander games, and the very first season we did, he just basically won, which is insane. I got Steph into it, I got Kibu into it, and I got 2 more friends into Magic.
Yeah, I think getting people into Magic is the best and worst thing you could ever do to somebody.
You financially bankrupt them, basically.
Yes.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
you basically set them up for failure, but also success. Like depending on how you look at it, you will never have enough money to buy drugs or feed your family.
I
Oh,
always
that's
tell
good.
my parents this when they like experience me go like full nerd mode, or I explained magic to them once, so that they know what we're doing, and then they just look at me and I'm like, hey, just be happy that I'm a nerd and I don't do drugs or anything like that. I'm not addicted or stuff like that. I just play with cards.
Yeah, it could
Absolutely.
be so much worse. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kara always jokes. She's like, he could be out cheating, but no, he's playing with
I know
lame
exactly where he's
cardboard
at.
rectangles.
Yeah.
Does JM let you open booster packs?
Yeah, I've opened booster packs with him before. I don't get the thrill out of it like he does, so I usually let him do it. But when we first started playing Magic, I think we bought a big box one time,
Yeah,
and it
Throne of
was
Eldraine.
me. Yeah, it was me, him, and my best friend, and we just sat around the coffee table, sitting on the floor in the living room, and we all
Yep.
just opened packs, and we were just showing each other the cards and everything. That was really fun. Sometimes it is exciting because I'm like, oh, that art's really pretty, which it's
Careful
a
the Great Henge. That's literally what she's talking about.
So I mean, I've opened a few of them. I just I think he gets more of a thrill out of it than I do, so I try not to take that away from him.
It's also a really good safety because if you don't really get the thrill of opening one of those packs, you do not continue when you do not pull what you want to pull.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah, that's fair. Yeah. So I try to only get like a little bit of product, and then I'll buy singles.
Obviously, financially, there's only so much that we can do, and we have to kind of do it a little bit at a time. So
Mhm.
can't always get the big boxes or anything like that. So maybe it might be a booster pack here or there.
Yeah, or trade like I've been recently in the thing of swapping out old commander decks, trading the expensive pieces that really only worked for that deck, keeping the pieces that worked for every deck like lands and stuff,
Mhm.
and then like bringing that forward. I just broke apart Niv Mizzet to make energy. I broke apart my old Simic deck to make clues. So just stuff like that.
What I was wondering, and that's probably my final question, is first of all, this is a very healthy form of doing magic, I think, JM, because both me and Steph are very, very, very perceptive to opening booster packs.
Yes.
Being sad about not getting what we want, but also knowing that we're gonna get more.
Oh yeah, it's like right on the next. It's the next one. It's got to be in the next one. I
Yeah,
get like that
Yeah.
sometimes.
So I think this is a way better thing. It also leaves no clutter, because in my case, I have over, I think, not to brag at all, because I'm really trying to get rid of it, but I have to convince myself to get rid of it. I have like over, I think, 200,000 cards laying around my apartment right now.
Holy cow!
And
Also, you could get into Pauper. Start making Pauper decks.
I could start selling pauper decks probably.
Holy
Yes,
cow! Yeah,
yes,
you just
yes,
start
definitely.
handing them out to random people on the streets and be like, "This is a pretty okay Pauper deck. Here you go."
Hand it out like
Where do you
drugs,
want
get them
drugs?
hooked.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, with a trench coat, you have like a bunch of different commanders.
Are you perceptive to being addicted to things? Here's some
I got what you
magic.
need.
Yeah, the fact that I'm naked also is that's an extra. You don't have to pay for that
Oh,
anything.
I hear Chris in the back of my head going, wood. Wood.
Smash.
My final question for this is, so we briefly discussed this, but like, do you discuss your goals with Kara? Like, do you have content creation goals that you discuss? And are you is your course altered by your partner in a sense of, hey, maybe you should put both feet back on the floor or something like that? Like, is your course altered by what your partner by the support of your partner?
Not to sound really cheesy, but 100%. I feel like Kara is kind of like the main sail to the boat. Like all kind of ideas and things kind of get bounced off of her for like financial reasons, but also like logical reasons. Like I'm very much so the rule mage again. Very impulsive, like I want to do everything. And she's like the very logical. And it's like, is it very smart to do that? Uh like I started reaching out to more cons to try to do more East Coast cons, just to try to do my reach, like anything that I could drive to, uh, stuff like that. And obviously, like to in a Parker to be old enough so that she could be either left alone or to come with us. But yeah, I try to bounce everything off of her. But yeah, she doesn't really turn down much. It's more of like what's the word? Trying to make like in the middle.
Kara, is there something you envision for JM on his route to content creation? Like something you would see happen or something like that?
Well, I know, obviously, I don't know if it'll ever happen, but I hope it'll happen for him. But I know eventually he would love to do streaming full time. Like you guys said before, it's hard to do that. It's hard to meet that goal. Obviously, we've always got to have a full time job. At the beginning, when he started, he always talked about it, and I was like, well, just for financial reasons, let's keep your job until until it happens. Obviously, the goal is potentially that he gets to do that and he gets to continue loving what he's doing. And when he did first start, I said, make sure that it never feels like a job because I don't want him to ever be unhappy with it. So I want him to continue to love what he does.
Yeah, and then I will just ask you, uh, has your goals changed from being a musician from being a magic content creator? Because very much so the same thing, or not the same thing, but like similar creation vein. And then the second question is, has your course altered since being in a relationship with Stephanie?
I think my content creation, like I used to be a musician and I am still a musician. I played my very first sort of gig last night in 2 years. Um, what I do noticed after I got off stage is that exactly what Kara just said, like music turned into a job for me, and that job burned me out real bad. So that is something that doesn't really spice up my life, to quote the Spice Girls, anymore, which I would still like to do because I had to prove to myself that I could still do it. The difference there is that I do not feel sparked in the morning when I wake up, or basically in the afternoon, to do something with it anymore, which is sad because it feels like I buried a part of me. On the other hand, I got something in return which I love very much, and I'm protecting it with every tooth and nail I have to not turn it into a job that feels like a job. What does help is that the magic community is far less toxic than the cultural community in this country will ever get, or just music in general in the world. This is still a bunch of really fun introvert nerds playing a game with each other, even on the higher levels, like even on the Josh and Jamie levels of the world. What does help me is that I know the trajectory of building somewhat of a career in somewhat of a niche. Like being a musician is a niche in this country, and being a content creator is also a niche. So I took a lot of lessons, and I took it to this, and how Steph altered the course of this. I don't think she did predominantly actually, but I am very hesitant now after my burnout. Like I don't want to do this, don't want it to turn into a job, and I just want to play games. And she's like, but you can do it. You can make it your job. You could, and so she keeps pushing me into doing it, which I always grumpily, hesitantly say, "Oh, okay, fine," but I actually enjoy it very much, and I'm very thankful she does. So that's a way she altered it, and also her playing Magic the Gathering and getting so involved into the game as she is also altered it, because that gives me more opportunities to do more things while tagging her along.
That makes a lot of sense. Also, even Kara not being a really like magic person, getting to experience Vegas with her was probably like one of the craziest thing. And like she didn't really necessarily play Magic on the convention, but like got to see it. So like I could only imagine how does that feel to you, Kara? Like being a not magic person, seeing a bunch of magic things.
It was a bit overwhelming, I will admit, because I'm definitely an introvert. But going there and seeing everything, it was really cool just to experience it. I think I only got 1 day pass, and I was really only there for a couple of hours because I was already 5 months pregnant at that time. So walking around Vegas wore me out easily. But checking out everything, it was just really cool. And to see the excitement on your face as well, John Michael, that was kind of an experience on its own. Because you were like a kid in a candy store, and that was
Well,
already your
yeah,
second day there.
it was crazy, yeah.
But it was fun, and it was nice to get to meet everybody, put names to faces. Like we met Chris from One More Game and Cody, Jun Fun. So it was nice to also meet these people that you've always talked about, and
Yeah,
we hung out at
Quinn.
the hotel with a few people. But it was definitely a fun experience, and getting to do that with you was definitely special.
I hear Parker in the background.
Parker
Yeah,
in the
he's
background,
eating.
that's
Sorry, guys.
amazing.
No, you're
No,
absolutely
so
fine.
amazing.
Little happy noises.
Yeah, I'm out of question. How about you guys?
For me, I think this was a great first episode. I'm personally don't have any extra questions. I think Daniel kind of hit it out of the park on this.
Thanks. I could not have done it without you guys, so I think we all hit it out of the park.
To be fair, it's just kind of nice to be the like the navigator or the person sitting in the passenger seat, not being the driver's side of the podcast or the show.
I think I attest all the good things happening to Craig. That guy lifts all of the weight.
You're the best, Craig.
All hail Craig, yeah.
Yes.
I would like to thank both Kara and Steph very much for joining us for this inaugural episode of something we are going to do a long time.
Thank you guys for having me.
I just want to
Yeah,
say thank you guys for allowing us to do stuff like this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course.
Thanks for sticking up with all our stories about things you probably don't understand at first, because we do not explain them.
or all the names of all the people that you don't know, because you actually use their real names and you only know them from their channel names, you know. It's like, who is this?
Yeah, that's the big one. John Michael goes back and forth from using their real names to using their tag names, and I'm like, oh gosh, who are you talking about?
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah.
And also, sorry for all the bad gifts we bring home, which are magic related, because it's what we do.
I mean, what we really do is we do it for you guys, you know? Because like Kara,
True.
could you imagine if we didn't? How much annoying energy we'd have for you?
Oh gosh, you'd pester me always.
Yeah.
Same. Imagine having us over the entire time and having to spend all the time, every time with us.
Oh
I
no,
mean,
the horror.
Yeah, I know.
be,
I
be
couldn't.
happy we have
No,
a
you
hobby.
keep your hobbies. You keep your hobbies, Bib.
Yeah, I want to give one final shout out to Foxy's Proxies. They have always hooked us up. We're talking to them right now, seeing about what they can do. But yeah, you can go to Foxy's Proxies MTG and get all kinds of good stuff. You can get a backpack there. I believe you can use Try and Casually 15 right now for a code. That would be our show's code. But we're trying to get a code for this show specifically. But until then, you can use that one to get, I believe, free shipping off or 15% off or something like that. It's something like that. But yeah, that's our code.
And the backpack is amazing. I keep
Yeah,
saying
it
it.
survives
inside
car
really.
accidents.
Yeah. You can jump out of a plane with it, probably. Don't do it though. Don't. JM, thanks for taking up a journey with a crazy European guy. I mean,
I wouldn't. You're my brother from another mana, man. I wouldn't rather. I would. There's no other person across the sea I would rather do this with. Sorry, I was trying to fumble across that.
no, it's perfectly fine. For everybody listening, thanks for listening to our very first episode. Once again, don't forget to check out Foxy's Proxies. Use that discount code to get either 15% or your shipping off. He makes incredible stuff. We have no other sponsors beside our partners who sponsored their time. So thanks to our sponsors, Steph and Kara, for this episode. We will be back soon with another keyword. In the meanwhile, you can either go to the link tree from Try and Casual to find all of JM stuff and mine from Everything Spellslinging. They will be in the show notes. Click it, find us there, find our content. We are set to play a game together really soon, so come check that out. And also don't forget to press the follow button on Spotify if you listen to us on Spotify, or go and subscribe to both our YouTube channels. That is my final thing. Thank you so much, and JM, kick us out.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys so much. Again, I'm JM from Trying Casually. You should go follow Daniel, my better half on this show. Thank you guys so much, and I just want to say thank you to our partners, and good night.